How do you do, Kabooti? Welcome back to the PEL. I know. Thought I'd try something different. It's okay. We've had 3 fantastic games. This is day 4 of the PEL Phase 3 Contenders. 2 games of Miramar already gone down, as well as 1 game of Erangel. Some fantastic games. But I think the most exciting one is to come. It's going to be Sanhok. Before we get into overall points.
Overall points, once again, Tornado Energy only secured himself, I think it was like 3 points that game. That was all they got. And unfortunately, a little bit far off the mark, but still, they had that cushion we were talking about earlier, so they are still securing that #1 position. Quick Math, finally back in 8th position. They got back in the top 8 because they got a bunch of kills. They were so dominant, and they were huge playmakers actually in the last game on Miramar, so let's hope they can try and have the similar kind of performance this time around, because they're going to drop once again in bootcamp, as we expect them to do on Sanhok.
True.
But no teams drop in bootcamp, so I would like to see maybe a fight involving Quick Math towards bootcamp for them to get a few extra points to just be secure in that top 8.
It's just, as I said, we're just kind of seeing these teams go a little bit closer together. Like, even when you look at, maybe the top 3 are holding on to their positions, especially the top 2, actually, Milky Way and Tornado Energy. But when you look at LXG, hell, even Ferrari Breach, with 63 points, and InsideGames, I think with like less than 90. That's less than 30 points between like 15th place and 6th place. That's really nothing.
Slowly climbing up as a plane will be coming on through. Once again, Central. Even if it's not Central, you can basically drop Way 1 because Sanhok is just a 4x4, very, very small map.
Of course.
And going to be interesting to see. Once again, InsideGames going to go for Paradise Resorts. Quick Math, as I said a few seconds ago, they're going to go for the likes of boot camps. The team I'm interested in is Katana.
Yes.
They drop way earlier than they usually do. Normally they've gone for Rins, then one day they started dropping towards Painan. And it seemed like they're shifting again, or are they going for Painan right now?
No, I don't think they're going for Painan. They could be going for Quarry or the edge of Quarry.
2-2 split.
Bit of a split, which it's not the wisest thing in Sanhok, or if you do split drop, you want to
like Unity
go together very early, as we do see HeartShift shifting on down the southern side of the circle. Last crew on the far western side, as well as normally YMCA, they love to go by Camp Alpha and then make their way through.
Going to see where the circle's going to be coming on through, even though the first circle of Sanhok is not that impactful unless it's a really big coastline first game, which I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen this time around. It seems like that will not be the case.
It's totally going to happen, man.
I mean, now I said it might happen. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I just jinxed it, didn't I?
That was similar to yesterday as well, I believe. We had a very southern side circle yesterday. It's going to allow 3D Max to essentially kind of somewhat bridge camp.
They did the exact same also yesterday. They bridge camped the entire game.
They did. It's going to make it tough for the likes of even Quick Math, InsideGames, and Milky Way to make their way through. Stellar can kind of gatekeep, but they'll want to be very careful because what is kind of harsh about Sanhok is that you can easily get third party. So if you're going to gatekeep, you want to make sure you gatekeep to the best of your ability and secure those frags as quickly as possible.
One thing that's really surprising is that so many teams drop split, and the last game we saw on Sanhok, they all like a lot less teams drop split. So I think they're still like testing stuff.
Of course.
It's only the 4th game.
Yeah, Sanhok is new to PUBG competitive, so these teams are still kind of building synergy on the map, getting to know the map, from a competitive standpoint, being aware of where every single kind of hill, dip, and peak is that they can kind of hold on to, the compounds that are the strongest. So when you split drop, you're building knowledge, you're building information that you pass on to the rest of your team as you do VOD reviews. And also, to be honest though, in fairness, because Sanhok is such a small map, it should be very easy for these teams to quickly become aware of where the teams around them like to drop. So it should be easy for them to kind of avoid each other, even though it's a small map.
Yeah, now that you say that, actually, that would explain why Katana actually just stopped going for Rins, because they were always surrounded by last crew. And Katana like, this is not a good drop location. There's ways of a few teams around us. Boom. Let's just try and escape from those pinches early game on Sanhok, because you never want to be in a pinch early game in Sanhok. Otherwise, you're probably going to go out early on. That's why they had such a bad first performance on Sanhok overall on day 1. But last crew, a team that did drop split, And now they're just going to be getting a little bit closer together. They're on the coastline. They're on the 2-2 split. I think they have one of the better positionings, actually, with HeartShift and also does Pilot. Because they're all on the very edge of the circle on the coastline of Sanhok. And coastline on Sanhok, compared to all the other maps, is just so good to be on early game.
Yeah, exactly. And the 3 winners we've had so far in Sanhok has, of course, been Milky Way, Tornado Energy, and Tornado Energy.
Ooh.
So who's going to come out on top as Noki does spot out Kowo, but only put him down to about 40 health. Is he going to be able to go behind? Is he going to be a bit of a third party? Oh, there you go.
Now you knew that someone was hitting you from over there. He's going to try and go for another flash. But Firax, smoke just in case. I think that's fair. But Kowo,
it is fair.
Yeah, Kowo very split. I don't like that.
Plus, when Sanhok is all about third partying, you want to get that smoke off to secure that revive as Izum from Milky Way. Trying to spot out the side of InsideGames. Hits against a rock. He's now going to reposition himself behind another rock. Just trying to cause that little bit of a distraction. Seniks is peeking, but so is Izum. He goes behind another rock. Great positional play coming out from Izum. Oh, Odstrelovac has been spotted out. Only put down to about 75 health. As now Austrian looking to join his team. He did secure that knockdown onto Odstrelovac. Now InsideGames put down to 2 players.
Oh no, I thought he was going to actually drop shot on top of him. Here it is.
He is now.
Trying to find it. Yeah, it's
come on, do it.
They got 2 knocks. He should try and go a little bit more aggressive there. Here it is. Gets the information. He's heard the shot. Nicely done. Once again, Zoom going to be the one-man army of their team. They got 3 members down. Does find a few shots on top of Zampeek. Once again, 39 HP down to about now 50% HP. And now they got the information. They got all the knocks. They got all the flushes actually on top of the 3 members of InsideGames. So they know exactly where he is. They got one more shot. Why not just close on through to take that team out? Because
you still want to be careful, right? You know, both teams are outside of the circle. The circle is, the blue zone is starting to close in. I'm actually okay with Milky Way waiting a bit and just biding their time because Seniks got knocked down. Zampeek has now gotten a knockdown on the DP. It's actually wise that Milky Way are kind of waiting a bit.
I think they could just storm it in one good swift engagement. I think they just gave a little bit too much time as Zampeek to just recover because he took a few shots. He was down to like mid HP. He's recovered back to 75 now.
True.
So I think that here, just get in there, Milky Way. But they're going to try and go for a 4-man split. You see also Man's going to try and regen back up DP.
No.
Did you get the information? Did that in the distance? A few spray coming on through as that AKM doesn't quite find any connections.
Austrian.
He's just on every single type of building he's going to have to deal with. What a nice headshot!
Play.
Oh my god. Zampeek, despite being on his own, he's doing awesome.
Zampeek, he's next for a peeking.
Zampeek peeking.
Yeah, Zampeek peeking. See, I'm okay with him actually going into blue zone, to be honest. Maximum and maybe rotating from there. We know that InsideGames are an aggressive team. Every single player they don't really back down from a fight. But in this situation, to keep the kind of dream of securing a top 8 position alive, you want to play safe sometimes. He's a one-man army, so play safe now. Make it pay off later in the game.
Because Milky Way, they're not going to lose time. They don't want to stay in that circle for too long, so they're just going to avoid the skirmish. That's completely fine. Last crew, talked about it earlier. Their coastline is actually going to be contested by the likes of YMCA. They're very close to each other. And they do have then, I didn't see what was actually in there. I think, they had a Groza. A Groza actually in Sanhok is such a good weapon to have. It's good at mid to short range. To storm compounds is like an AKM, but a little bit better than an AKM actually. And
on steroids?
Yes, an AKM on steroids. And just storming compounds with that weapon is absolutely awesome. Another of a coastline shift actually. Going to be great for the likes once again of Last Crew.
It's so far down south that you can't even see about a third of the circle just because it's outside of our screens. Rewap. They did this the last time and they actually kind of paid the price against YMCA. So let's see if it'll pay off again. I think because of the circle, how far down south it is, I don't agree with this play from Rewap. Because look at this, see? YMCA, it's like deja vu.
But they're so far out of range. I'm pretty sure Rewap is going to be fun. And I think there's so much coastline. Like you saw Bantai, the compound very down south. If they can get that under their control, that would be great for Rewap just for the later stages of the game.
But here's the thing. Like, it's a kind of, like, pick a card, or it's like kind of trying to find the penny in the cup type game in terms of, Okay, so it's like you have 3 cups and you have to try and find the prize in one of the cups and get shifted around. And Rewap have to try and make that play, but Quick Math making the play onto Ferrari. Breach right now.
The QBU can try and get a few members down. Marco and EduCoz got knocked away, but Washout is actually pulling off the offensive. It's 48 HP remaining. Not quite going to work out. 3D Max and Quick Math getting involved. And Ferrari Breach out now in 60's position.
Tornado Energy, Ally GG. Trying to find, he did find the shots on Jupsig. Knocked down. Let's see if the smoke grenades will throw out on the side of Quick Math to try and secure that revive. It would be a very wise choice. It is going to be thrown out. Try and keep him going.
Ferrari kids, they're also around the corner.
Who?
4 angry kids.
I thought you said Ferrari kids.
Ferrari kids. Ferrari Breach and 4 angry kids, when they have a kid, that's the team you get. But Katana, that's always risky. This area here, when you try and cross the river, is super risky move to go for. And LXC from LXG did get taken out, unfortunately. But actually, they have the compound now, so they can try and slow down that engagement. But still, the team that has to rotate is LXG, and to make it through the water is going to be very, very sketchy. Because Katana, they have a really good front line here. And talked about last crew earlier, he still has that Groza by Muck. And if he can, he should be the front line now because he has that weapon. One headshot on top of Nihanas, actually. Nicely done.
POLLADERUC getting a knockdown with the QBU and a frag secured and the 1 member of Unity. Let's see if they can secure the squad wipe down the line. As last crew getting knocked down 1 by 1. Even though they're on top of the hill, it's a little bit out in the open as a smoke grenade gets thrown out. AK skills will actually be revived.
Barely. If he just let that button go, that's going to be AK skills taken out. There it is. Regen back up. Nice. Last crew back to 4-man squad. They had a little bit of a few shots coming down the distance, actually. So just got to try and slow down the engagement. YMCA in the distance on that compound on the verge. They're going to try and just take a few shots with Rewap. I think, like I talked about it earlier, Rewap, that rotation, I think was great.
It worked out, but guess who then actually kind of went too far forward as a scout and got taken out, paid the price. So now Rewap down to 3-man team. They got to be very careful. YMCA, they hold a good compound where they're currently located. It's a little bit out in the open, but they have the likes of logs that they can kind of duck behind as this phase 3 circle has opened up. It's gone more north, allowing the likes of Quick Math, 4 Angry Kids, Katana, and Milky Way a little bit of an easier access into the circle.
You're going to see Last Crew and actually HeartShift. They're going to be clashing a little bit. Last Crew, they're coming out on top, and I said that Groza from Muck, absolute miracle weapon on Sanhok. And that's going to actually be the end.
Especially when Last Crew survived that initial knockdown.
Yeah. With Rewap actually in distance, that's great from them. So that's going to be their compound. Hippity hoppity, your compound is now my property. Last crew taking that one home. And 3D Max actually also have a really good position in the next phase. The Quick Math, they're very, very high up north. They have a few teams and also road to make through if they want to try and rotate a little bit more in the center.
True.
Can get scary, can get a little bit sketchy, but I think that they haven't got scouted out by any teams. That's 400 kids getting barely to a compound as they were getting a little bit shot down by Milky Way in the back.
Now the grenades start flying out in the direction of Tizerin from Unity as Moleman and Beamy driving on through. It's a 1v2 situation. All the while, DOS Pilot also looking for Tizerin in the distance. That will make Stellar a little bit more aware, a little bit more kind of on the edge, so to speak.
They don't know. Yeah,
no
clue.
Come on. Oh, no, you should have gone for it. Go for it now. There you go. No! You lost your chance, Tizerin. You paid the price. You got taken out. You were having an early bath, my friend. He should have taken the shots when he had the chance. I get why he waited, but, oh, man, it's always a split-second decision. Just didn't go your way this time, my dude.
Nobody likes snakes. That's what you get.
Yeah.
Tornado Energy, the same. They always go for the same compound, and that's going to be great because actually they have to rotate. They've got so many roads to work with. So Tornado Energy going to be a huge contender to try and take out LXG of this last game today. Going to have to be a little bit cautious on that rotation. Yeah, nothing much is going to come out of that. They got a bunch of terrain to work with also.
One team that is looking good right now is 3D Max. They have a 2-2 split in the center of the circle, 1 compound. And then the likes of Furex and Phantom holding a bit of a hill for their side. It's 4 Angry Kids. They hold that compound. It's well inside the circle, by the side of the road. I like where they are currently located. As DOS pilots looking to fire shots in the direction of the Unity.
I love the QBU at this stage. It's such a good weapon to just try and take a few shots, especially that high fire rate, just like the Mini 14, is something that you cannot underestimate. And they got actually 3 QBUs, so that's going to be a huge amount of pressure applied from DOS Pilot. I'm really happy to see DOS Pilots like in these kind of compounds. They need a good opportunity. They came out on top yesterday, pretty significant performances. Yep. They need to be a little bit more consistent now to try and get back in that top 8. Oh my god, this circle shift for 3D Max and Katana is so good.
Well, when I talked to Lipsin from DOS Pilots, they said they aren't a fan of Sanhok. They don't think it's ready. Think it's being rushed. But hey, look, you've been put in this position, got to make the most of it, and I'm sure that's exactly what they are trying to do.
Milky Way finishing their job, taking out InsideGames in 14th position. And they're just going to try and get position, but be careful. Quick Math is on their right side. A compound was taken over very close by on that road by 400 kids. And Milky Way staying very, very close together just in fact they do get involved. I do really like this. And they see the compound and they're being very cautious. They're not 100% sure. They might have scouted a member out of 400 kids, but they're being so careful, which I love on Sanhok.
I do think ctrkN, I think it should be a bit more of a 2-2 split coming out from DOS Pilots rather than 2-1-1. For me, I would much prefer that. Similar to like 4 Angry Kids. They have a bit of a 2-2 split, which I feel is a little bit safer. Offstring now turning his attention on towards the Quick Math. You pointed out that Quick Math was behind them, but Quick Math have to make their way into the circle. So can it be a gatekeeping situation coming out from Milky Way as they try and starve off the engagements coming out from both Quick Math and 4 Angry Kids?
Phase 4 is about to close up. Phase 5 is coming up very, very soon. And these 2 compounds taken over by DOS Pilot and Unity are actually not in the circle. And 3D Max, they're just licking their lips, just waiting for an opportunity to try and get those bunch of flushes at extra 3 points for themselves. Trying knocking down that door. That's going to be great from Zoom. Here it is. The door is now down. Was that QBU, sorry. RonnieKray. 400 kids still, they're still in circle. Milky Way's not. Yeah. And 400 kids, they just got to avoid the fire as much as possible. And when they're trying to push, that's when you shut them down.
And that's exactly why Quick Math are being a little bit more clever.
They avoid it.
Although a little bit riskier because they're heading into the path of Tornado Energy. So time is going against their side. That's why it favors the teams that move into the circle a little bit earlier in the world as Sanhok. As the action comes out, Offstring does get knocked down. So this ends Alonso coming up on fire. As what are Milky Way going to do to respond in this engagement as the Blue Zone is going up against both of these teams as 4 Angry Kids. They're also in the background trying to fire shots off. Tornado Energy are also in the background trying to fire shots off as Stellar gets eliminated. And all the while, iZoom trying to dance around the shots being fired. Mans is going to look for those shots. And Alonso does get knocked down due to the play zone.
Yeah, very unfortunate move there. Quick Math. I'm not sure how many members they still have. Oh, only 1 member remaining. That's going to be Pelton. He is in the blue zone, so it might be, Quick Math taken out in 12th position. No big surprise there. Milky Way, despite they were trying to do a smart move and like non-aggressive move, but unfortunately Milky Way, they denied that big rotation coming out.
And Tornado Energy
Milky Way,
as well.
They're not out of the woods quite yet, as 400 kids are still there and they're not letting them get any closer. DP also got knocked away. Zoom is going to be the last member. I think like Zoom should actually go around the corner there because you know the Quick Math was taken out, so it's free zone.
A little bit, but Tornado Energy also got a couple of shots off onto Milky Way, so that was always going to be tough. As YMCA get eliminated by Tornado Energy and Last Crew, actually, in fairness. So Last Crew really making their way through. They got 5 kills already, 3 coming out from Muck, 1 from Jappy, 1 from AKA Skills. Now they're going to turn their attentions onto LXG. Just what gets knocked down from Muck.
2 headshots in a row. That's perfectly done. They can't find any more, unfortunately, right now, but still, Last Crew, pretty good position. Quite nice circle, but be careful, Tornado Energy, not too far from that team, and they do have the high ground, which is going to be huge for the likes of Last Crew. Melman, he has the information, trying to snake it through. What? Oh my god, AK Skills on the side.
Come on.
Maybe he didn't take the shots. It's a little bit scary. Oh, he's getting up, actually finds 1 shot. But he's going to get clapped right back. Melman, oh my god, no chance to fight Last Crew whatsoever. Tornado Energy down to 3 members. 3v4 scenario rip going to be put down pretty low, going to try and raise back up to 75% HP. Little bit of spray action with the M4. Here it is. Let's get that nice flush on top of Rick. Perfectly done.
no.
Now, example, no, doesn't make it far enough. And last crew, Jap and Mug, be careful. Your GG around the corner with that QBZ. Nice to spray. Oh my god, well, those bullets shot at my friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend, as Jappy does get taken out. 3D Furax actually taking that kill away from Tornado Energy as Milky Way do get eliminated in 8th place. Rewap get eliminated in 7th place. Boy, oh boy, do I love Sanhok as the action does start to continue on. Those pilots get eliminated in 6th place. Suddenly, we find ourselves in a matter of minutes down to 5 teams with 14 players left standing maximum.
Still, oh my, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sorry,
That
make that
was-
4 teams.
Yeah, that was 3D Max, just taken out in 5th. No, sorry. Last crew
last
out in
crew.
5th
There
position,
you go.
taken out by 3D Max. The only good building remaining is actually taken over by 3D Max, and 4 Angry Kids actually, they are still as a 4-man squad. They're trying to get in, but that's also the case of 3D Max. And if the circle does shift in the favor of 3D Max, the high ground is going to go over to them, but actually Katana, they're slowly lurking in the shadows, trying to potentially overtake this high point away from 3D Max.
It's going to be tough, right? You don't want to be facing that low ground situation against a team that have the high ground. It always makes it a little bit tougher as a grenade gets thrown out by Solar in the direction of Katana, just pushing them back a little bit. But Katana, they don't really have to peek, right? They're already in circle. Why go for a fight that you find yourself at a disadvantage in? Because right down the hill, right near that road, you have 4 Angry Kids in that compound. But I can't help but feel all 4 members in one compound, that screams throw grenades, get that squad wipe.
I don't know why a team would actually try and go downhill, because I'm pretty sure the shift is going to go away. It's on a very edge, so it will be a really risky situation. And Furax has that one building. This building, though, is not really great to use, but because it's on the high ground, because you're on the high ground, actually, you can't really get shot from above the size of the building, which is actually great for them.
Yep.
So Furax, also they got you got so many QBUs in this game. This is going to be great for 3D Max. Katana, they haven't tried to pull the offensive Tornado Energy. I think most teams forgot about them.
Yeah.
And they're just going to try and snake in a high positioning. Oh my god. Furax getting instantly flushed out by the likes of Katana.
Nice.
As we're making it down with 3v3 in that top side of the mountain. And that shift is for 3D Max, actually.
Oh, what are 4 Angry Kids going to do? Because they have to exit that compound. They're still a 4-man squad. Tornado Energy are just outside the circle, but now we have 3D Max. We did see one member getting taken out. That was Furax. The French Maestro, the newest member, 3D Max, did get taken out on the hands of Katana. As Noki's now peeking around. They're taking their time because 3D Max are inside the circle as are Katana.
So people talk about Sanhok not having too much strategy involved. Here's just full strategy at this
It is
game.
strategy, yeah.
So it depends on your circle a little bit here, but I think this is going to be really hard for most of the teams to get good rotation. Oh my god, Adri just barely makes it out and instantly knocks down Havokki from 4 Angry Kids. Talked about it, they have to get out of the building at some point. And so Tornado and Energy are going to be getting involved there. 3D Max also going to try and 3-man party this fight, but they're actually going to take over Compo and Alia GG as Alia got knocked away first. Member taken away, Compot is going to be prone down, but the circle is going to be shifting away.
Man.
In 5 seconds, Compot, the clock is now ticking, trying to flush that kill out. Doesn't quite get it down to now 1/3 HP.
And
4 Angry Kids, only 1 member remaining.
Yeah, and it did go towards 3D Max with that latest phase 8. Very much in favor of them as Compo trying to dance around the bus being fired by Noki. No, Tornado Energy are eliminating 4th place. We are down to 3 teams. 3D Max have got 10 kills in this game. Finally 2 teams. It is going to come down to Katana and 3D Max. Solar is also in the background trying to be that front man for his side as Azrin is ducking and diving between both the rock and the tree. They get taken out and winner chicken dinner going over to 3D Max for the last game of the day.
They got 2 chicken dinners today. I talked about it before the start of this phase 3. Their team has been known for their consistency. They had a few roster changes. Had a little bit of a struggle in the first 2 to 3 days. Today, it's all 3D Max. They've been doing so well.
Fantastic.
And this is what I was looking for from them.
Yeah, and they held on to the high ground so well. It is hard to hold on to a hill in Sanhok. It is. You've got to know your position. You've got to be aware of everything that's going on around you. And yes, 3D Max did lose Furax, but they still held on to their position. They were a little bit lucky that the circles went in their favor, because if it hadn't have, they would have had to have gone downhill, which would have really have been a disadvantage to them, but they took advantage of it and they got the win.
That was one really early game fight of mjyoh versus InsideGames. InsideGames losing actually 3 members. And that was a little bit unfortunate for them. They did finish the fight actually a little bit later on, but that was quick math. They were getting involved in so many fights, and they actually took out Ferrari Breach at that stage in the game. And Ferrari Breach, that was only Washout that was remaining. He had 48 HP, got shot on the side. That was the end of him, unfortunately. Sprayed down by Zampeek. And then just a lot of action coming through. That was the move that I just really unfortunate from it. Tizerin.
Yeah.
Take your shots when you can.
Yeah. Like, I'm all for kind of peeking and getting intel, but when you're in that situation where you're last man standing, intel is just not as important. You just shoot on sight and hope for the best afterwards. But this is mjyoh after successfully taking down InsideGames and really taking down Quick Math as well. They faced the wrath of 4 Angry Kids and Tornado Energy at the same time. All the while, last crew, they did a great job taking down the side of YMCA, who are normally fantastic on their positioning heading into the late game, but just kind of got a little bit caught out.
The teams that are trying to rotate from down south, they are the teams that struggled the most this time because there's so many roads to go through.
True.
And also a lot of gatekeeping was happening in those locations. And last crew seemed like that was the team that did come out on top. But Tornado Energy, despite that fight and already going to their advantage, I think they did pretty well.
They did.
And they got a bunch of flushes, got a few points. They are still pretty nice in the current leaderboards, but that's a little bit unfortunate. Then you talked about it, like 400 kids, they had to rotate. They lost so many members. They only had 1 member remaining. There was Northrest, and he just got taken out of the picture pretty fast.
That's why I think when all 4 members held onto a compound and they were safe, they should have had a 2-2 split. The reason why is because if 2 of their players had exited one compound, you would have had the 2 other players that would have been able to maybe exit the other house and provide a little bit extra protection, maybe even secured a bit of a frag on their side. But either way, 4 teams getting 0 points max in that game. Unity, InsideGames, HeartShift, and Ferrari. I believe that's the first game we've had where more than 3 teams have gotten 0 points.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of teams got taken out of the picture really, really early. 3D max. That I think that is a record right there.
That is. That's the highest.
I think the highest we had at that point was 21. Now it's 23, set by 3D max. Huge performance by the French boys. On Sanhok too, yeah. Seemed like that is their kind of map. Last crew still, they got 8 points, which is pretty good. 11 points their way. Actually, a lot, like, the top 4 teams got a significant amount of points for themselves.
Exactly.
Even Tornado Energy, the placement points, they're going 4th, and I think that we weren't really paying attention to them that much because they just, like, lurked in the shadows a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end, Compot trying to play aggressive, didn't quite work out. And Noki, I'm not surprised, like 3D max.
Yeah, Noki, Mook, Magebane, and Furax, top 4 different teams. Other than Furax joining Noki on the leaderboard. From a kill point of view, great play coming out from 3D Max in total. Katana also put in a great performance. I've really been impressed with their improvements. They've evolved more as a team. They've kept together. They've actually started being a bit more aggressive, and it's showing right now in these games. But the damage leader, Mook, coming out on top.
The reason why he had that Groza.
Yep.
As the reason, just the AKM on steroids. But the head-to-head is going to be Noki and Mark. No big surprise right there. 6 versus 5 kills on both sides, respectively. 672 damage from Mark. Once again, mainly out of that Groza. Such a good weapon. Unfortunately, I would have liked to see last crew go a little bit later in the game, just to see how that Groza would have impacted the entire game. But still, great performance from both of these players as you go over to the current standings, because that is what you are all looking for.
Oh boy, after 4 fantastic games of Group A, they will go into the break with these current standings. They can now rest a bit, look back on the VODs, refresh themselves. Tornado Energy holding on to that top spot very dominantly.
3D Max, they started the day in what position? Started the day off in actually 7th position, now they're in 3rd.
Wow.
And it's just 8 points behind the likes of mjyoh.
Yeah.
And I got to say, 3D Max, I am just so happy. Being a French boy myself, I need to support my French boys.
Of course.
Boys support boys. And so I'm really happy to see them coming out on top. A few teams I'm a little bit disappointed with is, like, for example, Quick Math. I think today they kind of underperformed. They're now out of that top 8. So,
but again, look, at the end of the day, Max, it's still close. It's still very close between these teams. 400 kids, they're in 12th place and 76 points. Unity are in 6th place and 97. That's less than 20 points. That's absolutely nothing. That's a winner-winner chicken dinner. But the schedule for tomorrow, we start at 1800 CEST. It is going to be the start of Group B, Max. Group B have some absolutely fantastic teams going to be coming up and showing up for your screens. The likes of No Tag Team, the likes of PG18, the likes of Northern Lights, some of the strongest teams in European PUBG right now, going to be showing us what they can do.
I just can't wait to see Wanderer more specifically coming out tomorrow. He's my go-to player on tomorrow for Group B.
So on that note, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you back here at 1800 CEST tomorrow. Have a great evening.